Boxing King Media. We're delighted to be joined by Eddie Hearn. Eddie, first of all, I want to say thank you. You've done a lot of interviews today. You waited for me. I'm the last person here, so I appreciate that.
No worries, mate. No worries. Last one, home straight.
Not a lot of promoters would do that, so I just want to highlight that for the fans. There seemed to be a lot of tension between you and the Conlon brothers. Is there some history there, or is it the whole top rank matchroom thing?
Not really. He just sort of took, it's like, he was, I think today, he's quite, he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder in general, which is a good thing for a fighter, by the way. And I think that he feels like the away fighter, and he is, because we're in Nottingham. It's a matchroom show. So I think Mick Conlon brings a lot of that energy to this fight. You saw that between Ben and Jamie as well, which I loved. And it's a very passionate fight. It's got a little bit of Frampton Quiggs about it, to be honest with you, in many different ways. And I can't wait for March 12th.
And how much of an aspect will it play with the trainers? You've got Ben and Adam Booth. You've got the young gun, and against a guy that's very experienced and well respected. How much does that play a part?
It's a lot. Two great trainers. I mean, Adam Booth, Ben Davison, two of the top trainers in the sport. Ben's done a great job to instill the confidence in Leewood, and that's important going into this fight. So game plan's going to be everything, but I think it's going to unfold quite quickly as well, and what will be a mad atmosphere. Like I said, 9,000, probably 3,000 Irish as well, travelling over, have fun at the press conference tomorrow, and it's a big fight.
You've spoken a lot about the fight, so I'm going to move on to the undercard. You mentioned Kid Galahad. What kind of fight can we expect to see him in?
I want him, moving up to 130, getting in a fight to position himself to go on and fight for a world title. Obviously a catastrophic defeat to Kiko Martinez. He's training hard. He wants to bounce back, and hopefully, he can be in a good fight. Obviously, Heather Hardy against Terry Harper's gone down very well. It's a great fight. Kevin Agyarko will be announced on the card as well. Jordan Thompson, Sandy Ryan, loads more to announce. Looking for an official announcement for the card tomorrow.
And just moving on to other boxing news, announced about an hour or two ago, apparently there's talks of Usyk Fury happening in the Middle East with AJ and White stepping aside. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I'm involved in those talks. I can't not be. Those talks are not new. Those talks have been ongoing. It's with the same people. They've been happening for a month. It goes quiet, then it reignites, then it goes quiet, and it reignites. And there are still people with a big desire to try and make that model happen. Before Dillian White was called as mandatory, I think there was quite a good chance of that happening. Obviously, with Dillian becoming involved, it became a little bit more difficult, but those talks are still ongoing. I think right now the favourite scenario to happen is still Fury against White and AJ against Usyk, but literally anything can change on the way home. So we'll have to see what happens.
Obviously, April's around the corner. They're the expected times we're expecting Joshua and Fury to fight. Does that give you enough time to promote fights?
Yeah, I think if Usyk fights AJ, end of April's fine, but not before then. People keep talking about March 26th for a big fight like that. It's not. I don't see that as effective, really. So dates not so much of a problem. AJ boxed at the end of September. Dillian White is the one that hasn't boxed for a long time because of his injury, but Tyson Fury boxed in, whether it was November, December, so September even, so October or whenever it was. And I think dates, whether it's April or May, it doesn't really matter.
No news on AJ's trainer. I know he's back training at Loughborough now. Do you know anything about that? Is he potentially going with Fernandez full time?
No, I think he's training in Loughborough at the minute. He's been training everywhere, in Dubai and in London, and I'm sure when he starts camp, he'll make an official announcement about his team.
So I want to bring up Triple G. He didn't fight last year. Obviously, the potential fight in Japan. Has he still got the hunger to fight? Because obviously, you got Andrade in house as well. You could make that fight quite easily. What is happening with Triple G?
He wants to fight Murata. It's a fight that he wants to do in Japan, but obviously with the pandemic and the travel, that fight was kiboshed for December. There is talks of that being rearranged for March or April, and if that doesn't happen, he should look at the Andrade fight. Still the Canelo trilogy is a massive fight, one of the biggest in boxing, and I don't speak to him on a personal level a lot. If you ask me if he still has a desire, I believe he does. He's a fighter, he's a competitor, and he's a winner.
And quick word on Sonny Edwards, now a free agent. I spoke to him a week ago. He suggested he'd be more than happy to work with yourself, whether it's in a promotional capacity or as a manager. What's your thoughts on Sonny Edwards, and would you like to work with him?
Yeah, I'm not a manager, but from a promotional point of view, the fight I want to make is Julio Cesar Martinez against Sonny Edwards. It's a brilliant fight. It's a big fight. Tough fight for both, actually. Really tough fight, and we hope to make some offers for those guys this week or next week.
You've announced the March shows. Is there anything fans can look forward to in April?
Loads. Massive April coming up. I mean, obviously talks of Taylor Serrano. You've got Conor Benn to come back. You've got Callum Smith, Joe Cordina, Zelfa Barrett, both looking at a world title shot if they can get one. You've got the heavyweights coming up. Could be in April as well. So April and May will be huge for DAZN.
Last question. I just wanted to predict Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. You've obviously seen videos of him training.
I have, yeah.
How is that fight going to play out?
I've watched quite a few videos. I mean, look, sometimes Amir thinks I have a pop at him. I don't. I really like Amir. I see one guy that's really hungry and one guy that ain't hungry at all. Kell Brook looks to be training like a beast, and Amir's body language is not good. I think Kell Brook is a massive favourite for this fight. Massive favourite. I don't think Amir wants to be in the fight. I don't think he's motivated for the fight. And I just think he wants the money. And Kell wants the money as well, but he's never had a fight or a win like this. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I wish them both the best, but I see a Kell Brook victory.
Eddie, thank you so much for your time.
Cheers.